Demetrius Hinton, we just found out he's been in Minnesota for the last 4 days. So he's down there rolling, selling dope. Source don't know exactly where in Minnesota, but apparently that the kid used to roll for the Source. So,
any other units know about this Source?
No, I just got it today in the last 30 minutes.
He is aware that we're looking for him.
I don't even think so. I don't even think he knows. That's why he says out. I do have his associates here. This is his right-hand man.
They're not involved, right?
Not involved, but they're part of the hit squad,
no.
so.
Oh, yeah.
Do a full workup on each and every one of them, meaning we know all of their associates and also family members, girlfriends, and stuff like that, just in case, they try to get in touch with each other, which is probably going to happen.
That's right. That's right.
It's a waiting game. And as soon as the suspects surface, the squad will be ready to strike. 0700 hours. Before rolling out for patrol, Gang Squad street teams enjoy a time-honored tradition.
Hey, those donuts good, though, I'm telling you. Don't mind if I do. Watch this. This is how we uphold our image. I'm gonna uphold it today. That one's good, aren't you? Delicious, number one.
Today, Officers Shooter and Pelly are on school patrol, part of Detroit's effort to combat gang crime at the source. In Detroit, gang affiliation starts young, as early as 9 years old. And the schools themselves are a gathering place for multiple and sometimes warring gangs. Maintaining high visibility in the schools is now a police priority.
We're basically the parents. I have to get them in line, let them know I'm in charge, something a parent should do, and at the same time, arrest them if necessary, and if I can, send them home, and once they go home, we don't know what they face.
After school, kids often make their way home through rival gang territory. A high-risk time for shootings. This is when Gang Squad does most of its patrolling.
How you doing, big fella? Here for a minute.
We're sort of doing two things at once. One, we're trying to look out for the kids and make sure they all get out, make it home safely and everything. But at the same time, we're hunting.
Come here, man. Take your hands out of your pocket. You got your ID? What's the last 2 classes you have? English. It's obvious you don't speak too well. I'm in charge out here. Goodbye. Go that way.
And because of their relationship, and I think the love that they actually have for kids, they're happy to go do it. I mean, at the end of the day, they want to see kids safe. Do they arrest a lot of kids with guns? Absolutely. Is it the focus of what they do to create criminal records for kids? Absolutely not. It's to make sure the environment's safe. And I've seen them do just as much counseling, quite frankly, as I have seen them gun chasing.
You're gonna say, oh, I'm tired of getting tickets, y'all give me tickets. You don't have a license. You ain't never had a license, you 16. So if you tired of getting tickets, why did you stop driving?
A lot of times what we tell them goes right out the window when they get home because they have to deal with their home life. He may see us for, what, an hour or two a day? Once he leaves, he has no longer any dealings with us. He's gonna go by what is taught to him at home.
Gang Squad puts an intensive focus on getting guns off the street, sometimes at a rate of 3 a day for a patrol team. But there are thousands of unlicensed firearms on the streets of Detroit, and the statistics are symptomatic of a much larger social problem. Kids in Detroit are often first introduced to gun culture at the toy store.
That's a toy. Normally they carry those in the service stations around the city of Detroit. All right, we're gonna show you the real weapon next to the fake weapon. And as you can see, almost identical. Younger kids, 8, 9, and 10, they'll get these toys and stuff like that innocently, okay? Not thinking that anything is wrong and stuff like that. Inadvertently, sometimes they'll carry them to school in their backpacks and stuff like that. it's a problem not only for schools, but for law enforcement. I cannot tell whether or not a weapon like this is actually real or not. And in a split second or two that you're going to have to determine that fact, somebody can easily get killed.
When I was a kid and you had disputes, you'd have a fight and it was over with. Now the fights are one group shoots the other group, and then when they heal, they come back and shoot the other group. And it's kind of an ongoing lethal process.
And people don't fist fight, they shoot. If you get in an altercation and you beat me today, I'll come back with a gun. This time I won't lose. And that's the mentality they're thinking.
As violent as the gangs of Detroit are, their activities are hardly limited to turf wars. The sale of street drugs is a gang's primary source of capital. And for Gang Squad, following the drugs is often the best way to infiltrate. From his sources on the street, GQ has learned that the Joy Road Hit Squad, the gang believed to be responsible for the bus stop shooting, has partnered with another gang to sell narcotics.
And that's not uncommon for gang members to sell controlled substances out of one house.
GQ's anonymous source has also provided intel on the precise location of the dope house.
I'm gonna take him to a nice little gay spot where, you know, they gamble, sell drugs out of guns. It's a lot of gang activity.
To investigate further, GQ and Sandman are teaming up for an undercover stakeout. In civilian clothes, they're on their way to the territory of a gang known as BCB. GQ leads the way and Sandman follows behind in an unmarked van with our camera crew.
Going into the area of BCB, which stands for Burgess, Chapel, and Bentley. This little gang that's right up here. The way this truck's on, we might not go far. I'm a little rough and rugged around the edges. I understand that you have to have guidelines to keep certain people in order, but you can't be perfect trying to control an imperfect world, you know what I'm saying? But it's a whole lot of motherfuckers out here. You know, that's how you get their attention. The guy that you trying to restrain, he trying to knock your head off. So at some point, you can no longer just keep trying to restrain him. You might have to knock his head off to restrain him. And that's what a lot of the citizens don't understand. And the citizens that do complain a lot, they wouldn't even come out here and do this job if you paid them twice what I get paid. Okay, two. Okay. We're gonna go around here and see what they got going on right here. Can you see these guys right here? I don't believe he put me right here at the damn door. But gee, I don't believe you put me this close, man. I'm like, I might as well go on that porch with him.
GQ and Sandman are now parked directly in front of a multi-gang stronghold. Being identified as cops could put an end to their investigation and possibly turn deadly. For the rest of the operation, our cameras will stay concealed in the rear of the undercover van.
Now let's see what this clown does. Look like a marijuana smoker, you think? You see his left hand? See how it's clenched?
Like you got some money rolled up in it.
Let's see what he does. Yep.
Gotta go give me a bag of weed.
You see, you can always tell about the buyers. There's dope house protocol. You want to have your money in hand, ready.
They might try to shut down, you know what I'm saying? A van just pull up, ain't nobody get out, so I'm gonna go act like I'm being interested in the house. All right.
To get a closer look, they'll pose as real estate agents looking at property, and no matter what happens, stay in character.
How long has that house been vacant? Been all right, man? My man. Yeah, we out here trying to get a little groove on, man, and try to see if we can get these cribs like motherfucking, but
they're checking out some houses right
we
quick.
can buy them motherfuckers for about what, 12, 1,500? Oh, straight up? Yeah, that ain't a bad little motherfucker.
Look like somebody been sleeping in that motherfucker though.
Yeah.
Who he said he knows somebody?
Oh, he said, man, that ain't even worth buying. He said that motherfucker up. He said, I think he said it been vacant for a couple of months. Yeah, really all we really needed. He smelled like a reek with marijuana. That's really all we need to get a warrant.
While casing the dope house, GQ is approached by a young man in the street, wanting to know why they're there. And it turns out to be a breakthrough connection.
They were watching me, and they wanted to get a closer look to see who exactly we were. And just by chance, the guy, I recognized him being in one of the photos associated with the suspect in the bus stop shooting. That's one of the target guys, associates of the guy that we're looking for murder.
GQ and Sandman could take the suspect in for questioning, but that would blow their cover and alert the gang that they're being watched. Instead, they'll use what they've learned to get a warrant and penetrate further.
The 3 individuals that we encountered, they all reeked of marijuana.
That, plus IDing a person linked to the bus stop shooting, is probable cause.
As you can see, they're young guys, late teens to early to mid-20s, just as described by the source. So that should be enough.
With no idea that we the police.
Shaking hands with the devil. I got enough probable cause to get a warrant. We have 48 hours to execute it.
Officer for Detroit Police Department Gang Squad Unit, I have a probable cause search warrant.
I don't like to wait to execute a search warrant. So many things can happen within a 48-hour time frame. The probability of the drugs not being there, that's likely. So once I get the information, I really want to run with it.
At Detroit Gang Squad headquarters, GQ phones the DA's office to get permission to process a warrant. After getting the all clear, he types up a summary of his probable cause and takes the paperwork directly to a magistrate for signing.
Hey, how you doing, Steve? Hey, listen, we got a source that has some real good information about a certain address. We did some surveillance yesterday, met the target seller. Also, there could be an individual that's wanted for murder and 8 counts of attempt murder related to that bus stop incident earlier this year.
I need to see it in writing. If it's not in writing, it doesn't exist.
I got it approved to the assistant prosecutor this morning over the phone.
Swear affirm the contents of the affidavit in support of the warrant?
I do.
All right. You guys be safe.
We appreciate you. Take care, Jeff.
Warrant in hand, Gang Squad mobilizes for an immediate raid on the BCB drug house.
Ain't a boy out here that could test my game. How would I look letting another man affect my lane?
They need to move quickly in order to capitalize on the intel gathered by GQ and Sandman. And they're up against an unknown number of armed gang members.
Raid time. Showdown.
We need a K9 unit, though, at some point. What you think?
Them puppies don't find nothing.
This is our shotgun man, Bam.
How you doing?
He sent them all to the back, send them to me, I shake them down and send them behind me.
So suppress anything that comes my way. Once they see this, they tend to think twice.
And this here is our raid commander, the sergeant, code name Sir.
Remember we used to say we wouldn't do this again?
You believe that?
Every time they bring us back in.
Briefing, come on in.
I got a lot of scriptures for you.
Hey, 400 gangster, look at that. Bust that sucker into. It was weak. You tore your pants. Hey, you look like a gingerbread cookie.
The table is broke, man. What am I supposed to do?
We got a van?
It was weak. Let's get on with this.
Everybody up? Okay, gonna do the search warrant. That's gonna be a 1-story, green wood frame, single family dwelling. It's gonna be a black male, 19 to 23 years of age, wearing a black jogging suit. Possible name of the So who I got on shotgun? I am. All right, Ruff, you shotgun. Who's back up?
Shooter.
Rep, where you gonna be?
Prisoner security.
All right.
This is a house that's being operated by BCB gang members, Bentley, Chapel, and Burgess. You know, they terrorize that neighborhood. They do a lot of robberies. Going to be guns inside those cars. Going to be guns on those persons.
If we encounter fire coming out, we're gonna take cover. I'll declare the barricaded government.
No one fire into the house if you hear shots inside.
Clearly defined target. Clearly defined target. You can't see, don't shoot. Don't let your shit down. Don't let no guards down. We going in hot. We going in ready. All right. Everything to me is ready to rock. Okay. I got one rule. Y'all come back to this briefing the way y'all left it. All right.
Hold on. We gotta say our prayer.
Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the spirit that you have with us, oh Father. Just carry us, oh Father. Stay with each and every one of us, oh Father. Deliver us safely to this location. Deliver us safely back. As your Son, Jesus Christ, has laid the footsteps, we thank you for the Holy Spirit that travels with us at this safety time. In Jesus' name, let everyone say amen.
Let's get out. Let's get out. Let's get something.
Let's do it.
Bang it. Get it back. Get it back. Get out.
Look, I got 2 herniated discs. I can't.
Man, get your ass on the damn car. Quit playing. Herniated disc my ass.
Yeah, we got the cars. Sure. I want everybody in the cars.
The squad takes the house with military precision and cuffs everyone found on or near the property. But until the entire house is secure and all guns are found, no one can rest easy.
There's multiple people inside that house. We found marijuana. It was constituted a felony possession with intent to deliver. We found a parole violator, as well as confiscated a few $1,000s.
More important than a drug bust, Gang Squad may have apprehended a familiar face. This man matches the mugshot of Demetrius Hinton, the primary person of interest in the bus stop shooting case.
What up, Edge? Hey, we think we might have this Hinton cat in custody. We trying to match him up against the pictures. He look like him, but we still want to make sure.
Look exactly like him.
Yeah, we want to be sure though.
Yep. But we're hoping that he may be the person involved in the shooting. That's what we're hoping.
If it's not him, he's a hell of a twin brother.
Yeah, he got a heck of a twin.
Detroit's Gang Squad may have just cracked the bus stop shooting case, but they'll need to check fingerprints to determine if they've collared the right man, and it will take forensics to link him to the crime. The suspect is also wanted for a more recent shooting, a homicide in which Detroit police recovered a 9mm handgun. Proving a match between that gun and shell casings recovered from the bus stop shooting will take the case to the next level.
We're trying to draw comparisons between the gun and the casings. The gun that was used in the homicide, obviously, and the casings that were left at the scene.
Detroit's own ballistics lab was recently shuttered after too many errors were found in its exam results. So it's at the state crime lab that both gun and shell casings undergo rigorous testing to determine a match.
So in this case, we were asked to look at several 9mm fired cartridge cases, and we were given a Glock 9mm pistol. In this case, we would take test shots from the pistol and make our comparisons to the evidence found at the scene.
First, the Glock 9mm is fired into a sealed, water-filled test tank. It's a neutral environment that ensures any markings on the bullets or shell casings are from the gun itself. Then, the test rounds can be compared to shell casings recovered from the bus stop using a comparison microscope. When fired, every gun leaves a unique signature on both bullet and casing. These striations are as individual as fingerprints and can be used to determine a certifiable match between guns and the crimes they're used to commit. If the shells found at the bus stop match the gun used in Demetrius Hinton's other alleged homicide, it's strong evidence linking Hinton to the bus stop shooting. But lab results can take days to process, and Gang Squad will have to wait for the outcome to know if they've got the right man. And they aren't the only ones hoping for justice. full recovery. But there are thousands of kids in Detroit who aren't so lucky.
What are some of your dreams?
So my dreams? To get better. I want to, hopefully I heal up all the way and then graduate high school and go to college, maybe in Florida, or stay here and go to college and become a lawyer, or I'll become a counselor and work with kids.
We prayed real hard and it worked, so I'm glad she okay. I don't be messing with y'all. Unless y'all up here making noise.
There are over 1,000 shootings in Detroit every year. But the sheer volume of police work doesn't prevent Gang Squad from taking their work personally, or mask the disappointment that can come with bad news. Lab results are in, and the Glock 9mm does not match the shell casings found at the bus stop. And that's not all. The fingerprints of the man in custody don't match those of Demetrius Hinton, the prime suspect.
Fingerprints never lie. But hey, you know, we had to dust ourselves off and get right back out, right back on it. And we're doing it very tenaciously, aggressively, trying to find it. And we will find it.
It does make it more difficult. It gives you more motivation. You know, sometimes, you know, when the caseload gets so extreme, this gives you that extra push, that extra hour. When you were going to go home at, you know, 7 o'clock, you decide to go home at 8 o'clock. You know, it gives you more fuel to get these people off the street and to hold them accountable for what they did.
We're definitely working on this night and day. My phone never stops ringing. And I treat each incident as if it was somebody in my family, you know, and I think that's what drives me.
And for Detroit, a city that struggles to emerge from years of slow economic collapse, and whose young men increasingly look to violence for validation, the future remains a battleground.
I can't even say I made a dent. You can't control guns. You can't control what comes into the city, how people get weapons. You can only control a little bit at a time, what you can do with the time you're out there.
I think my future is very, very promising, you know. As long as God keeps me healthy. This is a job that I think I've been destined to do.
23